Hey, what's up everybody? Welcome to another episode of Beautiful Build. In today's episode, we're back at the old shop. We're romping around in the mud because I bought myself a Bentley Continental Supersport for Christmas. What's that? I hear that we have word from our Icelandic weather correspondent. This is Chris from Beautiful Build News. We're reporting live from Antarctica. Current weather reports are slight snow from the west. And all the board states this episode is an absolute banger. Back to you in the studio. Iceland, aka Antarctica, was a lot of fun. Now, back to work here on the Bentley. So the story behind this Bentley, Florida flood auctions. I went hard buying cars on the Florida flood auctions, and this is the first of many that we are going to show you, and hopefully it's not the first of many complete wastes of money. This car was flooded. Where's the water line on this thing? Completely, fully submerged in Florida saltwater during Hurricane, was it Ian? Yeah, that's it, Hurricane Ian. So this car's been completely flooded, so we're gonna start with what we do, how we start troubleshooting on a flooded car, and we're gonna work our way, we're gonna tell you guys the story of how it goes. We have not touched this thing whatsoever, and we're gonna start from the beginning of what we normally do, work our way through the troubleshooting processes, and then we'll either end with a car that runs and is good, or parts. And that would suck. And we might find out very quickly. So, well, let's get started. All right, so where we want to get started here is on the electrical system and see if any of the electrical system works whatsoever. It is not uncommon for flooded cars for the electrics to go underwater, come back out, and function again. So that's what we need to hope is that, it's somewhat unlikely, I hate to say this, that all of them work, but it's possible. So this car's been sitting, most of the flood cars had sat for about 2 months before they ended up finally getting auctioned off and delivered and everything like that. So this car's been sitting for a little over 2 months. The salt water has dried up, it has corroded, it has made a lot of things sticky and hard to function and stuff like that, but that's not what we're worried about right now. What we're worried about is electrics. So in the back, here, I'll give you guys a quick walk around of the car as much as I can. Air suspension is completely flat. This is a Supersports edition, so there's a badge for it right over here. Supersports. It's got carbon ceramic brakes that are worth almost as much as I paid for the vehicle. I'll tell you how much I paid for it right at the end. It's got headlights that are full of water. It's got a really cool 6-liter W12 engine that's covered in salt, and it makes 620 horsepower. This is an all-wheel drive platform, which is also really, really cool. It looks like it bonked into a few things in its flood time, so this is all broken out. Then coming back here, we lost a window, and then back here it's broken out. And anyways, what I wanted to mention was the trunk. So in the trunk there is no place to put a key. We got one battery back here and one battery back here, and we can't access either of those, so we need to put auxiliary power to the car, and then we need to try and get in, hope all the electronics work in the car, so we can hit a button somewhere in there. Hopefully there's a button in there, because I don't have one on the key fob, to pop the trunk. Probably comes as no surprise to you guys, we know nothing about Bentleys, we're not exactly Bentley people, but I thought this car was really cool with the W12 engine. It sounds really cool. It makes like 600 horsepower all-wheel drive, so I thought it was really cool, so I bought it. And now we learn. So we start learning stuff the way a lot of you guys do too, which is watch a YouTube video. So we saw a little YouTube video about how to apply accessory power to the car. Let me show you the game plan. So there are a bunch of Torx bolts that take off this air filter. This is an air filter, and this is an air filter. And then once we pop off this air filter, right back there, we'll gain access, at least it says so on the internet, we're gonna gain access to a little positive battery terminal. And then this is the ground. We'll have to like clean that up a little bit because it's very corroded right now with salt. Positive, ground, connect power to both of those. That should power up the car. So we're gonna grab our Torx bits, pop this guy off. If you're wondering why we're trudging through so much mud, this whole area back here is a construction site. Over the last few months, we've had work done to try and build our shop, which the city has held us up on, so now we're just using it for car space. Anyways, it's really flooded, guys. It's really flooded. That is a intake tube for the engine to get, for the turbocharger to get air, and is full of water. So if we get the electricals to work, then the next step is obviously evacuating the entire engine of all the water before you start to try and cycle it and stuff like that. But we're going to continue on with the power system. So as far as power, positive right here, going right there, those two rusty looking nuts, and then this corroded guy right here is the ground. We're going to go ahead and clean those up a little bit. Sorry, that's right there. We're going to clean those up a little bit, add power, and then we'll let you know when we try and open the front door and see what happens. On the inside of the car, things don't look too awful. One really cool thing, super expensive carbon fiber seats that come with this car. They're still there. Door paneling's still good. There's quite a few. Oh, my shoes are so muddy. Oh well. Ugh. Filthy. I love when I get in these exotic cars. I mean, this isn't a super exotic car, but just knowing I'm the dirtiest person to be in one that day. Like whenever I get in my Lamborghini, I'm usually the dirtiest person to be in a Lamborghini that day. Anyway, so we got a key right here. That's the valet key. So probably don't want to use that one because it says it doesn't open the trunk. If we get any power, we do want to open the trunk. And then we have this key that has a dead battery, and I took the back off of it because I had to clean it. But looks like this is the keyhole right here. Yank. I'm ready, Oscar. Ready when you are. Moment of truth, guys. Is this Bentley a brick or a Bentley? Oh, the park light came on! Oh my God, Oscar! Something worked! That's absolutely crazy. I don't know, I hope you guys can see that. I'm sure you can see it. It's right there. There's some lights on the front too?
Just one.
Just one? Okay. Hey, we got one light right here, so now we put the key in and turn it. It's just like, where's the button to open the trunk? It seems like turning it was really like the thing you would do to start the car. There's no like accessory mode. Also, unknown status of this key fob. All right, let's find out where the trunk popper button would be. Oscar's already on it.
Already looking for
Yeah, I can tell. I think I found it. Faster than Oscar's Googling. Did it make a sound?
Nope.
Well, guys, can't seem to turn the car on, and we can't pop the trunk. Can't turn the car on, can't pop the trunk. Now, it could be because we don't have enough power going to the car that we can't turn it on. It's unlikely. The thing is, it's just like, why do we have the little park light if like nothing else wants to work? Some systems work, some systems don't. Some modules are alive, some modules are dead. It's also concerning that the key fob buttons are also not doing anything. That would usually be locking and unlocking doors. Well, I'm gonna fiddle with stuff. I'll be back with news. All right, so we've used our jumper pack, and then we've used our external like charger with varying degrees of success and some weird oddities. So I'm not ready to count everything all out and say, well, this is all totally toast, because I just don't feel like we're getting enough juice through the car. Things are just kind of acting like a little strange. So I want to get dedicated batteries into this car that work. And so if we can't pop the trunk by putting power through here, I just YouTubed a video for the standard Continental, and that has back seats. And we don't have back seats, and there is a manual release for the trunk. So we're gonna have to do a little bit of discovery for the Supersport edition to figure out where that thing is, but then once we find it, we will pull on it and it should open up the trunk, and then we'll get access to those batteries and we can apply some more power. Well guys, this car, to say the least, is not wanting to play ball, not at all. So we hit the trunk release, we found it, it's like up there, inside there. Took all the backing out and everything, pulled on the trunk release really hard, wiggled the trunk and everything, did everything we could not get the trunk to open. It's most likely the salt water and the corrosion is on that back latch that's down there, and it's not making it want to go. So, quitting is not really something we're good at. So I've got another idea. We just find more and more creative ways to try things. I told you at the end of this, I'd tell you how much this car cost. This car cost me $14,000. The body parts alone that are still good on here are worth $14,000. The trunk lid is worth about $500 to $1,000. So we can either give up and say we're out $14,000, or we can just from the outside in just cut the trunk out, cut the trunk lid off, just cut it off. And yes, we're down $500 to $1,000, but we have a shot at saving our $14,000 investment, and that's just financial science. So we're gonna go get a cutoff wheel and cut the trunk out. B is for build. If the trunk doesn't open, just cut it off. Alright guys, if you're following along at home with your Bentley Continental, we cut all the way around the outside getting ready to pull this whole skin off and then saw through it, but then Oscar decided to cut the badge off because it's also a badge button, and that actually did expose to us this lever, which we were not able to hit from the outside, but once I could get my finger on the actual lever, it did open up the trunk, and then it's got an automatic, like, I don't know what that would be called. It's not just the stiffness of the shocks. It actually has motors that lift it up and close it down. So it was really, really hard to get up. But anyways, we got it. We're starting to lose daylight, so we want to move as fast as we can here. But now we're gonna, we found inside here was just like one Bentley bag that was empty, and the other one was a trickle charger. And now we're gonna rip apart all this paneling in here to get access to the batteries, throw some other batteries on there, and see if we get more lights. Let's get all the batteries hooked up. All right, we are using the, there's so much corrosion that the positive honestly just snapped off. Oh, the car took a little power there. See a little spark?
I heard a click.
Yeah, the positive, I snapped it off of this guy, so we're using a jumper cable to bridge it. Sorry, it's really dark, guys. We're losing light out. And now, is the battery pack on?
Yeah, battery pack.
Okay, so this is the first time we have full juice to the car. You know, knowing that we can verify that it's making it all the way. We did realize something, that some of these relays that start the sequence of turning the car on, they could be like kind of corroded shut, which would be a big problem. But let's try the key and now see what it's looking like inside. We got another light! Whoa! Oscar just pointed out that when the doors open now, we actually have the airbag light. So we have park and airbag. And there's a little light right there that I don't know what it means, but that's kind of dim. Guys, we're getting more lights as we add more power to the car. That is exciting. All right, I got the valet key now. I'm gonna go ahead and put in here, and I'm turning it, and nothing happens. Very interesting though that more power is making more lights. Let's try this. Unlock, lock. Nothing. Oscar just noticed steam coming out of the front, and there is a distinct smell of...
Is that AC stuff?
I don't know. Sorry, the camera cut off there. There's a distinct smell of melting. You call that melting plastic?
I think that's melting plastic for sure.
Melting plastic coming from the cowl area. That's strange. So we have a short somewhere in the system. Man, electrical gremlins on a Bentley. Who would have thought? So uncommon. All right, well that's kind of sketchy. The car has basically got a short somewhere that we can't really access very easily. It's in the cowl area. Let me clean up this camera lens. It's a little gnarly outside right now. All right, so that's kind of where we draw the line. We don't want to burn the car down. Like, it is kind of fun to be reckless and stuff like that, but we really don't want to have like some crazy short, and we can't access that area. So the next steps on the car, and this is what I was kind of like always planning in my head, are I really bought this thing because I wanted to use the powertrain. It's got, I believe, 620 horsepower, and it's all-wheel drive. It's a really cool powertrain, and it sounds really unique. The W12 engine, it's just like really, really cool in my opinion. I thought it'd be fun to swap it into something, and I have something in mind, and it's kind of coming down to the problem that we've been having for a while is we need more space. We need like a big shop again, and so with just a few hours of daylight every day and everything, and the constant rain, I'm not comfortable with us tearing into this car, not having places to put all the pieces and all that stuff to dive that deep. So I think we're gonna put this thing on a pause right now. And the engine looks good. We checked the dipstick, we checked the oil pan, and we're not seeing water in there, which is a really, really good sign. So the engine actually, although there's water going to the turbos, it doesn't look like it made it all the way through actually into the engine. So probably just need to replace the turbos, which is a good thing. So I think that the systems, the actual, you know, the drivetrain of this car is a salvageable thing. And I think at worst case scenario, what we'd probably need to do is buy another Bentley that's been like really crashed or something. You can find them for really, really cheap, especially ones with engine problems or something like that, and buy it just for the electronics. So every module, the key, the dash, all the electronics, just buy every single electronic piece, and we could utilize all those pieces in our powertrain swap. I think that would be the way to go to salvage this thing. I never really planned on just fixing it up to drive around a Bentley Continental because it's not really my style of a vehicle. But also, the exterior of the car could be used for a Lemon's car because there is a loophole with Bentleys. So yeah, I don't want to catch the car on fire. There's other cars back here that I don't want burning down. So we're gonna have to put a pause on that one. I did tell you guys about the boat too in the last episode if you watched the boat. I told you guys if it was just absolutely insanely miserable and stuff like that. We have two problems right now. It's insanely miserable, very, very cold, very windy, very rainy, and we're having a little bit of trouble sourcing the right parts. So we're gonna move a little bit more slowly on the boat. It will be worked on constantly in the background. We're gonna source all the parts, make a trip out there, do the work, back and forth, back and forth. So it will be being worked on in the background. We're just not gonna do constant episodes on it. So in the next episode, you're gonna see something else new from us, another project, and this is one that I've been waiting to jump into for a long time. Unless it gets interrupted by another delivery of another car. I've been buying cars like crazy lately. Oh, and on the shop side of the news, we just toured 2 different shops today. Both of them will work for us. One of them is available in February, one of them is available right now. We're leaning towards the right now one, so we might have a new space, a big space, a forever home until the official shop here gets expanded onto. Not that wall, but the wall that's in front of me would go about that way, like 4,500 square feet. That would be nice. That's the long-term plan, but for the next like 2 years-ish lease time, 2 to 3, we've got another spot that is welcoming, needs a lot of DIY. I don't know where that came from. And they're willing to let us move in like right away if we want to do all the upgrades, which is like, we're beast for build, why not, right? That's about it for the updates, other than the reminder that if you want a chance to win our 370Z drift car giveaway, the giveaway ends January 23rd, so you still got time to enter. Not a lot of people have entered, so you guys have really good chances. All the rules and stuff are at bsforbuild.com. Every dollar spent there gets you an entry to win the car. So go check that out if you want a chance to win our 370Z giveaway drift car. Thank you guys so much for watching. We'll see you on the next one. Peace! Come on.